Junk Dump here, and today I'm going to be working on a GM alternator. This one is a model 15SI. So on the back, we'll start with the voltage regulator terminals. We have terminal 1, which is just for the indicator light. We have terminal 2, which is the sensing wire. You want to connect this to a positive junction that you have in the car, because that's going to determine the output of the alternator. And then you have the battery terminal, which just connects to the battery, and that's where it's going to send that extra amperage down into the battery. This alternator came out of a Corvette. I'm going to show you how to tear down and assemble this, and those are basically all the actions that you're going to need to completely rebuild one of these alternators. Now, most of the time you'll find that somebody has put these on with an impact gun, and you're not likely to get these off easily. In fact, you may have to use an impact yourself to get them off. Now, when you're just indexing an alternator, you want to hold this casing together like this so that the rotor doesn't move out of position while you're just changing the indexing. Once the front part of the casing is free, you can turn that to any clock position you wish to accommodate any kind of alternator bracket that you have. Just again, make sure that that rotor does not pop out so that your brushes don't pop off of those slip rings. The front shaft bearing here is a sealed unit, so it's better to replace that if you've got some issue with it. When you remove that rotor, the brushes are going to pop out, and also the springs that retain the brushes. So just keep that in mind so you don't lose them. When you remove that stator, you'll probably want to take a look at those windings and make sure that you don't see any damage. You can use a multimeter also to check those, to make sure the windings are still good. And this stage, this is probably the most common fix that I have to do to these kind of alternators, is just replacing the voltage regulator. To get to that, you have to remove the brush housing. On some models, you have that resistor on the top two bolt screws that you see there. And here's the voltage regulator. This commonly is why alternators fail, and it's a cheap part to fix. There's just a lot of labor involved in getting at it. This is at the heart of what makes an alternator an alternator. This is the rectifier bridge together with the diode trio. This is the unit that takes the alternating current that's generated by an alternator and turns it into direct current, or DC, for your car. In the rear shaft bearing, I see these go constantly. These are the things that start to make noise when your alternator makes that whirring noise. So these are easy to replace. Again, sometimes all they need is a little bit of grease, but if you have to take them out, drive them out, make sure you don't drive them in too deeply, because you don't want the shaft to bottom out in there. don't forget the insulated spacer on the back of that battery terminal when you're installing it. Installing the brushes is a tricky process. You want to get a piece of wire or straightened paper clip and start by putting it through the brush holder assembly to make sure that it's going to fit for you. I always start with that inside brush because it's the hardest to get to. So first you start off by installing that spring. You want to hold it there with your finger and then put the wire through the back and hold that in place. Now that that's being held in by the wire, then you can move on to the brush. Now you'll want to take that brush and hold it in place while you pull out the wire and then push the brush down, compressing that spring, and then hold down the brush with your finger, insert that wire through the back, and have it hold that brush in place. Now that that brush is all set and in place, you'll just pull the wire back to expose that top brush, or that one that's facing you the most, while still keeping the wire in enough to hold that bottom brush in place, and then just repeat the process. Be careful when you're inserting the rotor, and also a little trick with that is that you don't actually want to lubricate the slip rings at all. The graphite in the brushes is an excellent lubricant, so you don't need anything else, and it's just going to make it a mess. So if you're going to lubricate anything, you can lubricate the end of the shaft, but not the slip rings. And that's really everything that you need to know to rebuild a GM alternator. A 10SI, 12SI, this 15SI. There's a lot of different models that pretty much look identical on the inside, so all of this will apply. Hope you enjoyed the video.